Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel today. If you have not subscribed, please subscribe. We are going every week at these videos consistently. So, I want you to be a part of it. But today, we are talking about something that is very important in my life. We're talking about these bad bitches right here. Graphic novels are what got me into this whole comic book world. This everything. The library in my city had Batman graphic novels and I just picked them up and I could not put them down. I read all of them, then I just went out and it all started from there. So I'm going to take you on a tour of all of mine. Okay, so they are on the bottom shelf. I have my DC up here, then my Image over here, and then Marvel is over in the corner because we don't support Marvel comics in this household. So if we want to go to DC, we start off. I'm just going to list off a few things about them, and then what they changed for me in the comic, what I thought about them, whatever. Okay, so we're going to start right here and then just work our way down towards this way. So first off, we have Batman. We're just going to put you back up here and pretend like nothing happened. Batman Arkham Origins, based off of the Arkham Origins video game. If you do not know, Arkham Origins is my favorite Batman game in the Rocksteady Batman family. I just think it was the best origin, the best gameplay, the best villain, because it was villains. So I bought this and it was like on clearance for like $4. So I was just like, obviously, give it to me. So that's a great graphic novel. But it's not a graphic novel that is like obviously the best, because it is adapted from a video game, and the best content from this universe of Batman is going to be from the video game and not the comic book. However, it is still a good kind of continuation on the story. Batman, the Man Who Laughs. Ed Brubaker. Ed Brubaker is one of my favorite Image comic writers. He writes all of my favorite comics from Image, and then I saw that he wrote this and I was just like, you know what, let me pick it up, let me see what's going on with it. I instantly fell in love with the story, of how he portrayed the Joker, everything about it. Great graphic novel. Batman, A Death in the Family. Okay, so some thoughts about this guy. I'm usually not a fan of older comics. They just, I don't know, I feel like they kind of move just in a different way from newer comics and that what I'm used to. I can appreciate them, but I usually don't like them. However, I read all of this in a really short amount of time, and I absolutely just adored how they weren't hesitant to make something like this happen in the comics, and it sprung so much. Even until now, they're still playing off of what happens in this graphic novel. So this was a good stepping stone for not a stepping stone, this is what all the other things came after, so it's not a stepping stone, but you know what I mean. It's a good point to jump off of. Anyway, it's a great graphic novel. Batman, the Black Mirror. Okay, Scott Snyder, before he was doing New 52 shit and fucking everything up with New 52, making everything so dope in that universe, he did the Black Mirror. Great graphic novel with a different Batman, which is obviously just really fun because it's always Bruce Wayne, so this one was really fun to read. Detective Comics Volume 1. Okay, this was one of the first graphic novels I ever bought, and I read it and I was just, oh my god, this is so much, so good, and I was so, just new in the comics, and everything I read I loved. So this is always going to have a special place in my heart. So this one is really good. Okay, now we're getting into the good stuff. We're getting into the meat of the collection right here. We got The Death of the Family. I'm taking it off the shelf, it's so good. Okay, I read this and it completely redefined what I thought of a Batman comic, what I thought about comics in general. This brings a whole new light on two different scenarios in the DC universe, and oh my god, Scott Snyder absolutely kills it. Greg Capullo's art, absolutely phenomenal. I'm using the absolutely word too much, but who cares, because these graphic novels honestly deserve every bit of it. Batman, Fugitive. Gotta come clean, never even opened it. Bought it at Half Price Books because it was really cheap, and never touched it after I bought it like 2 years ago. Then we got a couple of the Batman Little Gothams, Volume 1, Volume 2. Just a fun break. Everybody needs a break, because around that time I was reading Death of the Family and everything, and it's just fun to just sit back, turn your brain off, and just read some comics. Batman, Harley, and Ivy. Just a cool little series that they decided to do. Paul Dini, obviously Bruce Timm, great team. They did a cool job on this. I really enjoyed it, and I think that this is probably my favorite adaptation of Harley Quinn and Ivy together, except for the Poison Ivy Cycle of Life. That is like that's probably my favorite Harley and Ivy dynamics. Batman and Son. Gotta come clean. I'm not a big fan of it. I have no idea why. I just read it and it just got so off topic. Like, I bought it because I really like Damian as a Robin, and I was like, oh yeah, let me spend $20 on it and let me just read about Damian. And it got to a weird League of Assassins. Like, I know that's where he's from, that's the grandpa, and that's his bloodline, but like, it just goes into some weird shit and like people I don't like even fuck with and weird stuff. I don't know. I stopped reading it like 3/4 of the way because I just couldn't do it. Ooh. Everybody knows it. Everybody loves it. Great Batman novel. Absolutely just perfect. The way Catwoman and Batman's relationship is in this book is my favorite. Is my favorite Batman and Catwoman relationship in any comics. The villain is amazing. Harley Quinn is done right, and it's just all perfect with Jim Lee's art. Jim Lee's art just blows everything else out of the park. Just makes the writing that much more great, because the writing is only really as good as the art. If it's bad art, I just don't have a good time reading the comic. So Jim Lee's art just makes Jeff Loeb's writing just go out of the park. So then I have Batman and Robin, and then I have volume 1, 2, 3, and 4 because I liked it that much, and I'm really obsessed with Damian as Robin. So I bought all four volumes. It's obviously I liked it. It's a good dynamic, Damian and Bruce. I like that as his actual son, and I know that Dick Grayson was his actual son, but there's something that comes along with Damian and just him actually being blood and being from League of Assassins, coming from that background and making him who he is today is just so fun to see him interact with his dad. It's just so much fun. Batman R.I.P. Never read it. I bought it a year ago, and I still haven't touched it. I don't know why. It's just always sitting here. I always see it. I'm like, I'm gonna read you. Never do. Batman Night of the Owls. Accumulation of all of like the tie-ins from the Court of Owls kind of takeover of Gotham. So this was really fun because this is like one of the first graphic novels like this I ever bought. So it was like, oh, all these different comics I don't read. Like there was like a Nightwing in here, and there's a bunch of like all from the DC universe. It has all the tie-in issues, which is so much fun to read because it's different art, different writing ways, and different stories and different people. So I really enjoyed reading this and having a different take on what comics are, because back then I really only read like the Batman comics. Then we have Batman Heart of Hush, The Killing Joke. Weird movie, but cool comic. Batwoman, Volume 1. Never read it. Just bought it like a couple weeks ago. Black Canary. This was actually cool. I didn't expect it to be cool. I bought it when I had like a lot of money for like my birthday or something. And I bought it and I was just like, let me just give it a chance. And I actually really enjoyed the portrayal of Black Canary. And I liked how they tied it into like, this is the Black Canary in the new Green Arrow comics too, which is cool because they mention her rock and roll history. So that's something to think about. Blackest Night. Whoa there. Green Lantern, dare I say, best graphic novel? Dare I say it? I think I dare, because it is just so good. Because you know why? It's because Jeff Johns knows what the fuck is up. He knows what he's doing. Nobody can deny it. And if you think that he does not know what's up, then you're wrong. You're just basically wrong. So Jeff Johns wrote it. Ivan Reyes, oh my god, bro. Oh my god. So good. You just have to read it. There's no way to explain what it is without just reading it and just living it for yourself. Damian, Son of Batman. Never read it. There are graphic novels on here that I've just never read, and I'm ashamed to say it, but they just sit up here with the ones that I read, and they just all just pile together, and I forget about them. And that's what happened with Deadshot too. I bought Deadshot just with Batwoman, that graphic novel, like a couple weeks ago, and I haven't picked them up, but I think that's gonna be pretty cool. Deathstroke. Let's talk about Deathstroke. I feel like he got a really good season on Arrow for season 2. They are fucking him up in season 6. I don't know what they're doing. Season 5 was kind of weird too, what they did with them. And I was just like, you know what? Let me just go back to old classic Deathstroke. Let's see what he's got to offer. it was actually pretty cool. And you know I don't fuck with old comics, but this one I did fuck with, so it was cool. A little like old comics are, they are a little slow, they are a little this, but just how cool Deathstroke is, it just makes up for all the slowness and like the weird pacing and everything. But it's pretty worth it if you like Deathstroke. Okay, now all we have to do is read this name right here, and that just basically tells you about the book. One of the best Flash books, most fun, most Flash-y. I don't know if that's an adjective like I could use to describe a book, but like it's like the Flash is so the Flash, and I think that this is like one of the best like of the Flash, and I really like the story of like the different like times and dimensions or whatever. It was really cool, and I am going to get volume 2 soon, but sorry, we'll have to reread that because I got that a long time ago and I read it a long time ago, so I'm going to have to reread it before I get volume 2. The Flash, season 0. Let's take this opportunity to talk about the Flash TV show, because that's what this is. Pretty good so far. We're into season 4. Last season was a bit weird. This season seems to be doing a little bit better, more Barry and more about, you know, just the Barry Iris stuff is cool. The Wally, okay, let's just not let you fall. The Barry and Iris stuff is cool. The Wally stuff is cool. I like Joe. I like how they're doing everything right now, but I'm just really scared that the Thinker is going to be the main villain, and it's like, fuck, you guys couldn't even like get Brainiac. Like, how low is your budget, and like what is Warner Brothers like doing to you? That's sad that they don't let you even have Brainiac. So the Thinker, if that's our main villain, we're gonna have a problem. Changed history right here. This changed history. This whole book right here. Okay, let me tell you. And we could read the name again. Can you read that? Well, all you need to see is the first name, Jeff Johns. Okay, so, whoa, that's number 2. I think the Flash, it's only with the Flash graphic novels that they fall. Is that like something about it being the Flash? I don't know, but that's kind of cool. The Flash Rebirth actually was like so good. Like, it was, I know everybody that's watching this video has read it because it is such a staple in the DC universe that you've read it and you know your own opinion on it. You have your own, I have my own. I think it was really cool, and I agree with everything that they're doing right now in DC. I know a lot of people don't with the continuity issues, but I do. I completely agree how they're just going to just make everything one. They're just like, fuck it, everything is happening and it's all the same DC, different universes in the multiverse. I was just like, fuck it, let's go with that. That sounds the best. So the Flash continuity, it's all weird, but it's coming to a good conclusion, I think. Green Arrow year 1, I bought this one. I watched Arrow back in the day, and I was just like, oh, it's so cool. I need more Green Arrow in my life. So I read the first issue at my library, and I was like, this is too good. I have to buy it. So I went out and bought it, and I read it, and oh my god, because like back then I was really obsessed with the TV show, and I was just like, this is so much like the TV show. Oh my god, it's so cool. He is a boner. Oh my god. But like, it is actually a really good Green Arrow story, a really good origin story all around. So if you haven't read it, definitely give it a try because it is a lot better than the TV show is now. And I am throwing shade. I'm throwing a lot of shade, but I'm sipping my tea while doing it because I do not care. The Midas Touch, read this a long time ago, and I was like, like a few months ago, I was like, hey, I need to read that again. Put it on my shelf. I bought it, never read it. So I remember I liked it though. So Green Lantern Rebirth, same thing as the Flash Rebirth, just not as big of a continuity thing. Green Lantern Rebirth, still good. Green Lantern Sinestro, this was one of the first graphic novels I read that wasn't Batman, so it really, really got me into like the whole space aspect of DC and the whole universes beyond Gotham. So I was like, yeah, fuck yeah, this guy's awesome. Hal Jordan, Sinestro, cool villains. Oh, I'm here for it. And my library had like all the copies, so I was just reading constantly. And then I bought it for myself because I liked it so much. Harley Quinn's Greatest Hits, always a good thing to have on your shelf. It's like $8 at Walmart for some reason. It was at Walmart, so I was like, you know what? I'm buying it just for fun, just to fill up space on my shelf. Identity Crisis. Let me tell you. Oh, my light's catching it. Identity Crisis. One of that's it. That's all I'm going to say about it. And you can form your own opinion about it. We had Justice League The Grid. Bought this because it was volume 4. My library only had volume 3, so that's just whatever. Robin, Son of Batman. Supergirl Volume 1, Superman Red Sun, Superman Under Fire Volume 5 of the New 52 series, and I only bought this because it was $2 at a garage sale, and I had to buy it because obviously DC fan, I have to buy any DC thing I see at a garage sale. Adventures of Superman Volume 2. I was going on a shopping spree and I picked this up thinking it was Volume 1 about a year ago. Never got Volume 1 so I could read this one. So Volume 2 has been sitting on my shelf. Superman vs. Darkseid, got that right before Batman v Superman came out. The Death of Superman, got this as well with Superman vs. Darkseid because I knew something was going to happen in Batman v Superman. I was kind of right. It's a little too soon. It's a little too soon for that. Sensation Comics. This was the only Wonder Woman novel that my comic shop had. And I was like, are you guys fucking serious? This is back in the day when I was first buying comics. I was like, I want to read comics, but like Wonder Woman comics, but you guys only have this one? And they're like, yeah, we only have that one Wonder Woman comic, and nobody wants to buy Wonder Woman. Then the movie came out, and now there's a whole fucking section on Wonder Woman. So, it shows them. Then Wonder Woman War, because my library had only had up to 3. And then Teen Titans. Never read it, but whatever. Okay, now let's move down to Image, because this is where shit gets good. Honestly, Image comics never disappoint me, and it's weird. Okay, never mind, I take it back. There are some that have disappointed me. Watchmen? Good graphic novel. I can appreciate it for what it is. Not my cup of tea though. The movie, however, I will fuck with. Just not the graphic novel for some reason. I don't know. I really respect it and I like what it is. I just don't know why my brain couldn't get around reading it. So I don't know. I stopped halfway through. I don't know what happened. Velvet? Cool, like old spy kind of thing. It was pretty cool to read. Woman spy, back in the day, the old guns, the old cars, whatever, just, classic story. And a lot of Image comics, why I like them are because they are a kind of a twist on a classic idea, or a spy, but like she's a woman now. And then, you have fucking, who wrote this? It was Brubaker. Yeah, it was Ed Brubaker, so I liked it. So, you just get the twist. The Sword, bought this at Half Price Books for $7 and never read it. Okay, then we could just make all of these just one big bundle. 7 Saga graphic novels. Not that big of a fan of Saga, as you could tell. No, I'm actually just kidding. This is my favorite comic series out right now. Like, I could say that right now. I enjoy reading Saga the most. It's just absolutely incredible. The best Image comic series ever. It's so good. It's just so creative. And I think that's what I really like about it. It just gives Brian K. Vaughan just boom, just like do whatever your brain can think of, you could do in this comic book. And what the cool part is he actually does those things. And Fiona Staples, her art just absolutely kills it. Rat Queens, weird but cool. Never bought Volume 2, even though I should have. Rat Queens Volume 1, it was a pretty okay read. Paper Girls Volume 1, Volume 2. Okay, so I read Volume 1. I wasn't that big of a fan of it for some reason. I don't know what it was about it. It was like cool. It was like had a Stranger Things kind of like teenage bicycle riding through your neighborhood in the 80s, whatever vibe. And I read it and I just didn't feel the need to read Volume 2. So I just never did. Outcast, let me tell you, okay, Robert Kirkman. He has his own, it's just so distinct when you read it. Robert Kirkman has such a distinct writing, and this really, it really shines in this graphic novel. It's so cool, so good. I just never bought Volume 2, and I hate myself for it. Every time I see it, I'm like, I need to buy it, but every time I see it, I never have money. Monstrous, yeah, this Kill or Be Killed, Volume 1. Oh my god, I just got this, and I read it, and it's by Ed Brubaker, obviously, so I'm just like, oh, it's so good. I loved Volume 1. Volume 1 was so good, and I'm going to get like Volume 2 like this week because I have to, because it's so good. It's super good. It's super good. I remember reading the preview of it in like one of the Diamond Select previews, and I was like, oh my god, this is so cool. So when the comic came out, I bought that, but I don't like buying Image comics like separately because I think they just look better as a whole, like in graphic novel form. So I waited for Volume 1 to come out. It came out, and now I have to get Volume 2. Invincible. It really shows that Robert Kirkman, that distinct writing. Really cool, really fun read. A collection of Image First comics, which is always cool to give to somebody if they want to like get into comics or whatever. They could just flip through this and see what they like, what they don't like. You could help them out, just see what they like, help them out, find other things. So that is something I always keep this here for, is for people that ask me, hey, I want to read comics, but like, where do I start? And if I'm like, do you like superheroes? And they're like, oh, maybe not so much superhero. I'm like, oh, well, then you want to go with Image. Then I give them that, and then we're good. The Fade Out. And let me tell you, Ed Brubaker, never read it. Just sits there. All the books I bought at Half Price Books, I just bought and I never read. I'm going to have to read these now that I'm doing this video. East to West. Read it, didn't understand one thing that happened. Flipped back through it, I'm like, what the fuck just happened? So I never bought volume 2, and I'm gonna pretend like it never happened because it's really embarrassing. Descender, really cool little like not even coming of age, just like a young kid story. Really enjoyed the writing by it. Yeah, it was Jeff Lemire. What the fuck did I just say? Oh my god. It's Jeff Lemire. How do you even say his name? I've never said his name out loud. I just have a distinct way to say it like in my head, but I don't know how to say it out loud. But you know who I'm talking about. Look up the graphic novel if you really want to know. Actually a pretty cool graphic novel, and you know, space and image. Image and space go together just so well. Like when image and like the comic company and then space just meet, it's so good. And then 2 volumes of Deadly Class. Deadly Class, oh my god, it's so cool. It's like that high school coming of age sort of thing, like as assassins. And I was like, oh my god, like that's so fucking cool. So I was like, fuck yeah, let me cop me 2 of those. And then here's a shot of all of my Marvel graphic novels. I'm not a fan of Marvel, really. I bought all of these when I thought I was, and I just kept reading, and I was like, I'd so rather be reading DC. So, nothing against Marvel comics. If you like them, that's cool, and I think that they're cool. I just really enjoy DC more. For some reason, it's just personal preference. Like, I actually enjoyed reading these, but like, I don't like find a need to buy more of them, if that makes sense. So that's it. My graphic novels. It's so much fun to read graphic novels. Just one of my favorite pastimes is just to pick up a graphic novel, and it turns out to be really good. That's just such a good feeling. So just if you wanted to read any of these, I just recommend all of the ones that I've said that I said are good, but the ones that I've said are bad, like Monstrous, don't even read. Don't even pick it up. But like the other ones that I talk about, mostly like the Batmans and the DCs, like all those, just go read them. They're just so much fun to read. You can find them all online now for free, because that's what I had to do when I was like had no money. So go and just read them online for free. Viewcomic.com is one of like the best sites that you can go to search up any comic you want and read it, and that's what I use. And so if you want to, just go over there, read those, just read comics. It's so much fun to read comics. We're just so caught up in movies and TV shows and like castings and controversies that we forget that these guys are here, that these comics are here, and they're so much fun to read, because you know, you could form your own opinion about them, and like so many people don't read them that nobody cares what your opinion is. But if you have an opinion on a movie or whatever, you know, everybody jumps on your shit. So go read graphic novels, go read comics. It's so much fun. And let me know what you guys want to see in the next video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.